Section 5.3, proving triangles congruent by side angle side. So last section we showed congruence of our figures. We mentioned we'll have shortcuts for our triangles. We actually have 5 of them. Today we're introducing the first one, which is side angle side. So this says if two sides and the included angle of one triangle are congruent to two sides and the included angle of a second triangle, then the two angles are congruent. The included angle here means order is important. Right? So if we look here, we have side RS is congruent to side VU. Ooh. Bad way to say that. I want to say UV. U and R matches up. Angle R is congruent to angle U. RT is congruent to UW. Okay. So I have the two sides and I have the angle in between them. That's what they mean by included angle. So then triangle RST is congruent to triangle UVW by side angle side. Okay. And both when I'm looking at this and the order I'm going around in, that matters, as well as the order I'm setting these up in matters. So example 1, we're deciding whether there's enough information. Okay. So when I'm looking at these pictures, we can mark stuff on our own, but it can only be stuff that we know for a fact. So like we can use reflexive. We can use vertical angles. But I can't use, well, it looks like it. So when I'm looking at A, they give me FE. It's a little hard to read there. FE is congruent to GH, right? And I have the angle at F and the angle at H. So that's 2 things. Any of these theorems, I need 3 things. But I know FH is congruent to FH by reflexive. Again, if reflexive is there, we can always use it. So that gives me that. So then this is yes, that's side angle side, side angle side. Okay. When I look at B, right, we have the sides, we have an angle, and I have this, I could do BD is congruent to BD, I can do that by reflexive. However, if I go around AD, DB, the angle's not between them. Same thing down here. So that is no. Okay? Because the angle is not between the sides. When I look at C, okay, they give me this side, and they give me this side. Right? I have the mark here and I have the mark here. I can do reflexive for ZX, and this has to be 90 here. So watch how your triangles are marked the same, because here I have side angle side. On this one, on YXZ, I don't have side angle side. The angle in between is the angle at Z. So this is no. Okay, because the things are not marked the same. All right, our markings don't match. All right, so I'm looking for the two sides and the angle in between them. Example 2 says use the given information to name the triangles that are congruent. All right, and then they say ABCD is a rectangle. Right, so they give me the 90 degrees here, right? And in a rectangle, we know opposite sides are congruent, right? So I know AD is congruent to BC. I know DC is congruent to AB. That's because it's a rectangle. Right? So then I have side angle side. So triangle ABC Okay, and that first one I can just, the order does not matter, but then I want to match that up. So angle A, and watch because this confuses people. Angle A here, if I go from A to B, I'm following this 2-1. Well, the 2-1 here is down here. So that means angle A in this triangle matches with angle C in the other triangle, right? Then 90 is at D, and then the angle up here, when I go follow that 90 to the 1, that goes from D to A, where here it goes from B to C. So this last thing is A. So C and A switch in these because of how this line divides them. So that's something to watch out for as you're naming things. Okay. Then flipping our paper over, right? We have a fill in the blank proof to prove that our triangles are congruent. So JKN is congruent to LMN. Way easier than the one we looked at in the other one. All right, they give me JN is congruent to LN, and that KN is congruent to MN. Okay, and again, as you're doing this, you should mark these down. So JN is this one, matches with LN. KN here matches with MN. Then they say angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. The question is, why do I know that? So if I look at the picture, angle 1 and 2 there, they're vertical angles. So vertical angles are always congruent. So my reason there is vertical angles. Right? So now I have these two congruent. Now I have 3 things marked. If I look at those 3 things, give me side angle side. So my 2 triangles are congruent by side angle side. Okay. Again, right now we just have one way. We have 5 different ways to prove triangles congruent. All of them, I need 3 things marked. And that's 3 things in each triangle, and they have to match up. So it's one of the key things to look at and to watch for. Okay, that's the end of 5.3, right, at proving triangles congruent by side angle side.